Hey. Hey everybody, how's it going? Gonna wait a minute, let people get the notification, and then maybe go on. Let me give this person some info. Uh, "13 people. I know, I'm going stir crazy too. I'm like, just want to see some other people. Okay, so Farah, we as teachers don't have a lot of information yet. I'm going to walk around my house for a little bit. See, as our office, me and my husband, he's working from home. So we as teachers don't actually have a lot of information yet. We're kind of getting the same information as you via Twitter and via Dr. Mark Henry's updates and everything as he gives them to us. And so right now we don't know. We know that in-person classes were canceled, which means that they're going to be doing some kind of online schooling. We don't know exactly what the expectations for that are going to look like yet. So we don't know exactly what the expectations are going to look like for that yet. So it could be that we're like sending out lessons every day. I'm hoping that's not what we're going to do. I'm hoping that what we do is that it ends up being sort of like a college class. And like on Monday, we'll tell you what your assignments are for the week. And then you have until Friday to do them. And that way you guys can work at your own pace and such. But I do want to reassure you, no matter what happens, no matter what no matter what happens, no matter what they decide, what the school district decides, I'm going to be in contact with you, letting you know what to do, making sure you understand your lessons, making sure that you have all the information you need. I'm hoping to hold some Zoom meetings. If you don't know what Zoom is, it's an application or program that will allow us to essentially have virtual meetings. I'll do it kind of like my lives. The difference with the Zoom is that everybody will be able to have a video so you guys can actually see each other visually a little bit and share my screen with you so I can show you some of the things that we have on our screen that you can work with. So again, right now, we don't have any specific answers. We don't know exactly what everything's going to look like. Some people may be doing one thing, some people may be doing something else, but we're supposed to get some more answers tomorrow. And I know that as soon as the principal has those answers, he's going to send it out and share it with teachers and everything. You'll be doing online learning for all your subjects. So when the online learning occurs, you'll be doing it for everything. Okay, so sorry, my internet's not very good upstairs, so I'm actually going to go back downstairs. But you'll be doing, and guys, it's 3 weeks. So you have this week. Once this week is over, you officially kind of go back to school. And by go back to school, I mean you do online learning starting next week. And then there's some kind of online learning for 3 weeks. Okay. We're supposed to go back to school April 13th. April 10th is still Good Friday. So that is still a student holiday, student and staff holiday. Okay. This is Q&A. I'm going to talk a little bit about flashcards. I'm going to ask you guys some questions about what you need from me as your teacher, what's going to help you all. So remember, I have the same information that most of y'all do if you have access to Twitter and you follow Dr. Mark Henry on Twitter. He's been doing a really good job of putting out a lot of updates. That's where most of my information comes from. Again, we don't have a lot of information. Yeah, on the CFISD page, it says through April 13th. April 13th is the day we're supposed to go back to school. April 9th is our last official online day. April 10th is a student and staff holiday. It's Good Friday. Then April 11th and 12th are a Saturday and Sunday, so school would resume on April 13th, which is a Monday, which is why you get the weird difference between either April 9th and April 13th. April 9th is the last day of break. April 13th is the first day of school. Brooke, yes. Originally, the STAR tests just got waived, which means school districts didn't have to do them. But as of today, the Texas Education Association has officially canceled all STAR tests. However, please understand that school districts use that data for placement. So there is likely to be some kind of DPM or benchmark that Sci-Fair ISD replaces the STAR with, so that we still have data to determine placement for next year. Okay, so you won't have STAR. We will not have to do those 4-hour shutdown tests, but there's still going to be some kind of major end of year test in all of your subjects, so that we can make sure that you are in the right placement for next year's classes. Okay, so don't blow off, like when you start getting assignments next week, don't blow those off. Starting next week, you'll be receiving, I don't know for sure, but it's likely you will be receiving grades again. Okay, the last grading period still has to count, because here's the deal, guys. We have to have 4 grading periods in the school year. If we don't have that 4th grading period, then we're looking at making up time in the summer. And so everybody wants to avoid that. That's a major goal, is to avoid doing that. Okay, so I will say, Enrique, they're not posting anything on Reddit. So if you don't have a Twitter, you can still look at Twitter without having a Twitter. You can also just follow the Sci-Fair ISD website that has regular updates. Every time Dr. Henry posts a Twitter, they post an announcement as well. PE, I don't know. I know that they're encouraging kids to go in their backyard and play. My kids have figured out how to access Go Noodle here at home. And so we've got a lot of Go Noodle going on here in my house, but my kids are younger. So there may be some assignments from PE. They may say, hey, we want you to do this many jumping jacks today, or something like that. I don't know for sure. It may just be a thing where you kind of have to take responsibility for your physical health during these next month, really 3.5 weeks at this point, that will be at home doing the social isolation thing. Okay. All right, so I'm going to talk for just a minute about flashcards, because I know a lot of you have them and I know a lot of you don't have them. So I want to talk about, if you do have them, how you can use them, and you should be starting to use them. And then if you do not have them, then I'm going to ask what y'all's opinion will be. DMC. No, I think your parents are entirely responsible for DMC at this point. So if you can't behave for your parents, then they'll be taking care of that for you. Because if you're doing all your work online, then behavioral problems don't occur in the classroom, they occur at your house. And I think that's between you and your parents. So, all right. So here is the proper way to use flashcards. Now, I say proper way, and this is literally, it's a science-based, people did research on how the brain works. And they did studies on ways to use flashcards. And this is how most people use flashcards, is they'll pick up a flashcard and they'll look at the question. And let's go to a topic we've actually done, which is, if you have the flashcards, we have not covered red or orange yet. Dark red or dark orange. Those are the Civil War and causes of the Civil War and Reconstruction. We have covered all of this information. So guys, if you're like worried about this whole missing the end of the school year, I just want to point out, we covered this much information already. This is how much we haven't covered yet. Okay, so we've done a lot of schooling. Y'all worked hard for a good long period of time. You're in a good spot. You just got to make sure we review the information and go back to it. So a lot of people, when they do a flashcard, those are my flashcards. When they do a flashcard, they pick it up and they read it and they're like, what is the feeling of pride in one's nation that swept the view this at the War of 1812? And they'll go, I know that. It's nationalism. Good, I knew that. And they put it to the side and they're like, oh, I knew that. Okay. So we do actually have flashcard sets we could sell, but I'm not entirely sure how we would get them to you at this point. So we can talk about that in just a second. So what you should be doing instead is, if you don't know it, if you cannot get it without looking at it, you should have two piles. One is, I got it right away. What is the feeling of pride in one's nation? Oh, that's nationalism. Boom, I got it correct right away. Okay. And then the other one is, what document helped establish the self-government in the colonies? I don't know. I'm going to have to look. Oh, the Mayflower Compact. That needs to go back into my flashcard set. Really, you shouldn't be doing all the flashcards at one time. You should be doing about 10 a day. Okay, so you do 10 a day, and it's a really quick review. And again, you have one pile for I knew it immediately, and those are done. And you have one pile for I didn't know it, and it goes back into the flashcard set. And you might be doing the same flashcard 5, 6, 7, or 8 times. That's okay. All right. And right now, I'm going to be honest, without a STAR test, even though there will be some kind of end of year DPM or benchmark that you have to take in social studies, without a STAR test, it's not as much about memorization as review. So just reviewing the information to make sure you're retaining some of that stuff that you learned. Okay. So then I have some questions for y'all, because like, I know not everybody has flashcards. Okay. I don't have an answer to that. It's Anissa. I don't. Most of those have an end of year exam, and if they're able to get you back into school, get us back into school where you can take the end of the exam still. And here's the deal, guys. Every school attendance is called something that's called seat time. And in order to receive credit, you have to have a certain amount of seat time. And that's your attendance for school. So the next 3 weeks, you're going to earn your seat time by doing the assignments that are sent to you. If you don't do the assignments, then you don't earn your seat time. You're not earning the credit, okay? So it goes beyond just the grade. Now, credit, that kind of thing is important in the course, like in your normal subjects, but not as important as in your high school credit. Because the rules about high school credit are much stricter than the rules about middle school credit courses. So there's a whole thing with seat time. And again, we do not have answers yet. We don't know what any of that's going to look like. It's important that when you start getting stuff next week that you're doing it. And then you have to trust that the school district's going to take care of you. Okay. Sci-Fair ISD doesn't want to make you all take 8th grade again. They don't want you to lose your credits for your high school credit classes. It actually looks good for Sci-Fair ISD when we have a lot of students who get high school credit classes. They want y'all to be successful. They want y'all to be able to go on to the next grade. They want y'all to be in the right placement areas. They want us to be able to go back to having normal schooling as soon as we can. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure all of that happens. And a lot of that will probably look like online schooling that you see in other states. So again, I don't have a super lot of answers to those questions, just the knowledge that we're going to be doing something with online classes. And when we start rolling out, now you may have gotten some stuff this week. So like I sent out an email with a online Moodle that you could do. I sent that email to my students. I also sent it out via Remind. And so I sent that out. That's an optional thing you could be doing right now to review your history, test yourself, make sure you have the knowledge you need to have. It's a kind of an independent practice thing. It's not a grade. Nothing is official this week. So if your English teacher sent you something to read and answer questions for, right now it's all, none of this is official. Next week, when you start getting material next week, and I know that the principal is going to send out some kind of big email, you're going to get all the details and information. It's going to go to your parents. It's really important that your parents be checking their email over the next couple of days. It's really important to pay attention to the social media announcements on Sci-Fair ISD website, the Goodson website, on those Facebook pages or Twitter pages, is where a lot of this information gets posted. So as a question for y'all, what kinds of things would y'all like to see over the next couple of weeks? Like, would you like a digital set of the flashcards? Like if we turned these into a PowerPoint slide where you could use it, or even just a I've just forgot that online Quizlet, a Quizlet, and making a giant Quizlet that you could use. Are you more interested in video stuff where like I could come on and do 10 flashcards a day on a quick video? The Twitter account, there's a Goodson Middle School is at GMS. I think I don't have my phone with me. Judy, can you run upstairs to my room and grab my phone off my desk up to the office? I'll look those up in just a second. Digital flashcards, okay, because we can do, I can do a Quizlet, a giant Quizlet with all the flashcards, and I know that that has a flashcard option, so I can do that. I would like to hopefully hold a Zoom meeting, and I'll send out a video with instructions on how to do that. If I introduce anything new that we haven't done in class before, like if I tell you, I'm not going to probably give you instructions for accessing things in Google Classroom. Y'all should know how to do that. We've done that in school before. But if we do something new like Zoom or anything like that, then I'll send you video instructions. I'm also going to send out a video that talks very much like at school, but now that we're at home, we might use it more often. And you may not know that things like the textbook will read to you out loud. It has videos you can watch. It'll define any of the words in the textbook for you, even the non-academic words. You can change the entire textbook to Spanish if you wanted to. So it has a lot of resources that are really good. So if we're going over material next week and I make a video talking about the Civil War and you're still confused, you can go onto the online textbook and utilize that. So anytime we have new information, I'll send out an instruction video that walks you through exactly how to access that information. All right, let me find. Okay, so Mark Henry's, Dr. Mark Henry, he's our superintendent of the school. Okay, so he's in charge of the entire school district. He runs and manages it. He's the one who makes all the decisions in conjunction with our board. He's making lots of announcements right now. He is, and I'm going to type it in too, at SUPT, SUPT, Mark Henry, which is short for superintendent. Okay. So that's one person. Cypress Fairbanks ISD is at Cy Fair ISD. So that's another person you might want to consider following. And Goodson is Goodson GMS. So at Goodson GMS. If you were not aware that the school district is handing out free meals and you are in need of, you or your family are in need of free meals, even if it's just because you could afford to buy them, but you can't find any bread at the store because all the bread is sold out. Goodson Middle School is actually a location for free food. So you can pick up breakfast between 7:30 and 9:30 a.m. You get lunch from 11 to 1 p.m. and you get dinner from 4 to 6 p.m. And then you literally just drive up and they will hand you the food into the car. Some food for each student. Okay. Are there any other questions I can answer for you guys? Anything else that I know I don't have a lot of information. You should, be reading every day. Try to read a little bit every day. There's a lot of really cool websites that are doing stuff for free. There is, if you Google free Broadway shows, there's a website that's running free Broadway shows. You can watch productions from Broadway for free. Rain, we just started about 20 minutes ago. It's probably not going to go for super long. It's mostly just to touch base and say hi and let y'all see my face. I just want to reassure y'all that no matter what happens, we don't know exactly what things are going to look like, but no matter what happens, I'm going to be like in touch and in contact, and y'all are going to be able to ask me questions, and I'm not just going to disappear on you. we'll keep it. It's Anissa, what do you mean by if school gets canceled? I just want to note that for the next 3 weeks, this week school was canceled. For the next 3 weeks, school is not canceled. In-person classes are canceled, which means you still have a responsibility to complete educational tasks, what we don't know yet, but some kind of educational task. You just won't be attending school in person. You'll be doing it from home. So everybody's going to get to feel what it means to be homeschooled or online schooled or whatever we end up doing. Absolutely, Brooke. I will keep y'all updated. I'll try and do another live stream at the end of the week once I get all the information from Mr. Dixon. Okay, it's Anissa. So if it gets canceled for the rest of the year. So Texas Education Association, TEA, they're the people who are in charge of schools for the state of Texas, and they make a lot of decisions. They're the people who canceled STAR officially. They're the ones who have the power to do those kinds of major things. Cy-Fair ISD can't cancel STAR. The state of Texas says you have to do it. Now they said you don't have to do it. So we're very pleased about that. Everyone's breathing a big sigh of relief. It's one less stress to worry about. If that gets canceled for the rest of the year, one of their priorities, TEA has said one of the major priorities is to get kids through the end of this school year to receive full credit by the end of the year without having to retake all this time and have to go back during summer and finish this school year up during summer. So I think what we would see is online schooling for the rest of the year. And I say if we're going to do online schooling, I think we should try to do as much digital meetings. Maybe we can do some digital clubs. There's lots of different ways to meet online so that you still get some social aspects of school, that we can keep some of our clubs and our movements going. Brooke, we don't know. So some school districts are doing what's called simultaneous teaching, which means at a certain time every day, your teacher goes live. So like at 9 a.m., that's social studies time. Everybody at 9 a.m. has to log on to this meeting, and we teach during that 1 hour. Some school districts are doing something more like what college does, which is like, we're going to release on Monday. We release, here's 4 things you need to do this week. Do them whenever you have the time. So Cy-Fair ISD has not made that decision yet of what exactly that schooling is going to look like. But as soon as we know, we'll let you know. I think it's unlikely we'll be getting up at the same time we'd normally get up for school, but it's always a possibility. So I don't want to make a promise I can't keep. Okay, so Rain, the school district is working on trying to get, you know how we have like laptops and hotspots for checkout? The school district is working on trying to get laptops and hotspots out to anyone who would need them. Yeah, I don't know anything about elective credits. Sparky, I don't know. Again, if it's a simultaneous login, they'll probably try to keep it to about the same time as a normal school class, which would be 50 minutes, not quite a full hour. If it's not, then it's not going to be a set amount of time. It'll be some kind of thing where it's like, here's the 4 tasks you have to complete. If they take you a long time, then they take you a long time. If they take you a short time, then they take you a short time. So we'll be able to better answer that question towards the end of the week. Good. What other questions can I answer? It's nice to virtually chat with y'all. Yeah, I know you don't always believe it, but your teachers do miss seeing you. Your teachers do worry about you in situations like this. We want what's best for you. If it's an online meeting, how long would each meeting be? I would guess about the same. I would guess it's about the same amount of time as a normal meeting. Hey guys, that was the cleanup alarm. They need to make sure to clean up their rooms before they go to sleep. Brooke, I don't have that detail yet, but I can make sure to send your family an email, or I will mention it in the meeting on Friday. I expect it will have that information in the next couple of days. Brooke, I would especially make sure to pay attention to the Twitter account of Dr. Mark Henry. I'm sure that as soon as they have a decision about how they're going to get that information out to students, that he'll be posting about it. He has been posting a lot. He's posted 3 or 4 times a day, and he responds to people's questions. So if you ask him a question, he will do his best to answer it if you ask him a question on Twitter. He's been very responsive. Might be because he's bored, because we're all kind of bored sitting at home. Um, Rain, yeah, like I don't think it's likely, Rain, I don't think it's likely they're going to make everybody log on at a specific time. I think it'll probably be something where you're kind of doing the work at your own pace, but I just can't guarantee that because I don't have that information. Okay, but we want something, again, the school district is not trying to make it hard on anybody. This is unprecedented territory. Nobody's ever been in this situation before. For my generation, 9/11 was sort of our defining moment. Remember, we did that turning point activity earlier this year about turning points in history. And you guys got to talk to your parents or your grandparents or other adults about these turning points that they've experienced. Well, this is y'all. I mean, everybody's going through it together with you because this is an event that will be a turning point in our history and our lives. And we'll be able to look at like what was our country and our life and everything like before and what was it like after. So it's kind of history in action right now in the United States and in the world. You're seeing a historical moment. You're seeing a moment that will be in textbooks and in history books. Yes, Sparky, in some future year for some students, this is going to be a relevant application. It could be a science relevant application. It could be a history relevant application. So this is really, I mean, it's a good opportunity to watch the news. It's but don't let things get under your skin. Don't let things get too inside you. Oh, put you there. Hold on, sorry. This is this is the guy who wakes me up early every morning. So, right. Okay. I'll come upstairs in a second. Okay. Let Daddy read you your story. Okay. And so, but it's good. It's just interesting to watch how people are reacting, watch what people are doing. History is a lot about watching people. What do people do? What are our leaders doing? What are the people doing? What changes are being made? So it's just kind of an interesting moment in history. You're really living through a historical moment right now, and so yeah. All right, what else can I answer? There was not a lot of history information in this video, just a lot of kind of chatting about what's going on. I do want to say if you've got flashcards, start using them. 10 flashcards a day. Remember, if you don't get it right away, it should go back in the pile. Look at what the answer is, put it back in the pile. If you get it right away, put it to the side. If you've got that one, you know it. You don't need to go back over it again. Okay. Oh, you found it. Okay, good. We'll put it in the workbooks. Thanks, sweetie. So I'm not sure which point of Area 51. You talking about the conspiracy theory that came out in the 50s and 60s? Or are you talking about the march on Area 51 that happened this year that was not super successful? Yes, it's Anissa. So I will post a Quizlet. I'll send it out via email and I'll send it out via Remind. If there's anybody who's watching this who does not have my Remind, if you want to sign up for my Remind, it's you just text at FM History H to the number 81010. Okay, and you can email me if it doesn't work. Yeah, right. It's an optional Quizlet. It's just a tool for people to use. If you don't have flashcards, it's a way to do that. They have a really cool, fun matching game that does 6 matching words at a time. So that's a really good thing. You could do that once or twice a day, and then you'll have done 12 words, see how many you got correct and everything. Again, these are just tools for you to use to kind of keep your mind fresh, keep the information in the front of your brain, so that next week, when we do get back sort of to our official learning in whatever capacity that looks like, we have the information. I will do another live on Friday. By Friday, we should have a lot more answers about what next week is going to look like, about what our expectations for our teachers is going to be, what the expectations for our students is going to be, and how we are going to make these next 3 weeks really work for everybody involved. Yeah, all my all my spiral videos are still up, and I have sent an email to the principal asking how I can get my spirals out to my students. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to do that. Um, but I would like to. I would like to be able to get the spirals back to y'all, so that maybe we could do some of the work in the spirals, so that when we do go back, because that's what I'm hoping and praying for right now, is that we will go back. I want to see y'all's faces. I'd like to get us back to a normal routine. It'd be lovely to end out the year together before you guys all leave Goodson and go off to high school. But then that would all still be in one place, and we wouldn't have lost a chunk of our work. So I'm working on a plan for that. I don't have any answers on that yet either. It's my pleasure to do this. It's good to like see y'all typing again. I agree, Lauren. I really hope it's also like the college classes, but I'm not in charge of anything. So I'm going to follow the expectations they put out for the teachers, and I'm going to help you guys all follow the expectations they put out for students, so that we can all be super successful, so that we're ready to go back, and that everybody's on the same page and nobody's behind. So it's going to take me a couple days to do this Quizlet, guys. Okay. Cause that's a lot of cards. So, Sparky, I don't know. If we're doing school of some sort, there'll be some kind of quizzes or something that you have to take. Everything's kind of up in the air now. Everything's up in the air. We don't even know. Rain Star is canceled. Texas Education Association and the governor of Texas officially announced today that Star was canceled. Okay, earlier in the week, they had announced that they were waiving it, which meant that school districts could still do it if they wanted, but they didn't have to. Today, they have officially canceled all, and I'm going to double check. I think it's All Star, but it might just be, hold on, I'm going to look up the news article I read about this. See, another thing I'm following right now is tea.texas.gov, which is the website for Texas Education Association. So it says cancellation of STAR testing for the remainder of the school year. Yep, all state of Texas assessment of academic readiness administration scheduled for April, May, and June are canceled. So there is no STAR. So, yeah. Yay. It's Anissa. I don't know. Remember, that test is not going to be like a do you pass or not. It's really going to be more of like an end of course exam kind of thing. So it'll be a part of your grade, but really that's more for placement. And what placement means is talking about the different levels of classes. So you guys know, like for instance, there are reading classes that are designed for people who don't pass STAR. We have no reading STAR. How are we going to decide who needs those classes? I don't know, but we're going to have to do something. So these are just lots of little moving parts right now. There's a lot of unanswered questions. I know that can be frustrating and scary, but you just have to trust that we want everyone to be successful. We want everybody to finish all their classes. We want people to be able to get the help they need and the services they need and the supports they need. And we're going to be doing our best to do that in this kind of new situation. Does the cancellation of STAR affect you gravely? Depends on how much you wanted to take the STAR test. It affects schools a lot more than it affects you students. For you students, it just means that your grade that you earn in this class is going to be the biggest deciding factor of whether or not you go on to ninth grade. Okay, so before it was a balance of you had to pass all your classes and you had to pass STAR. Now it's all on your classes. You got to pass all your classes. That's the number one deciding factor about whether or not you go on to ninth grade. So that's something to keep in mind as we move into online learning. And again, we don't know what that'll look like. We don't know what kinds of grades we're going to be taking or how many grades or anything right now. And again, I know that can feel really awkward, but again, the school is not trying to hurt the students. We're just trying to deal with a difficult situation. Okay. All right. Any other questions? We're going on about 36 minutes now, so I'm going to go ahead and ramp up. If you have any questions, or if your parents have any questions, please feel free to email me. My email is amy.fostermunoz@cfisd.net. If we do online assignments, everyone's doing them. Like, it's not going to be like one teacher is giving assignments out and the other teachers are doing nothing. We got to have the same expectations for all our students. Okay. Every student will be receiving, every teacher will be under the same expectations. Every student will be on all the teachers are going to have the same expectations. All the students will have the same expectations. Okay, so whatever, now we might be more grouped together. So it might be like, instead of having 3 separate Google Classrooms, we might make one Google Classroom and put everything out through one Google Classroom. We might only do one of us might, like, we might take turns who's doing a live video or a Zoom meeting, instead of having all 3 of us do it at the same time. We just don't know yet. We don't know exactly. But all the teachers will have the same expectations. All the people Ayana, just be careful with that attitude, because if you don't do any of the work, it will be reflected in your end of course success. They canceled online class. Right now it's summer. Right now y'all can just be kicking back and relaxing, learn how to cook, learn how to play the guitar. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ayana. You're just making me nervous. I'm looking for Ayana. That's good. I'm glad you want your education, and especially because I'm going to be honest, you guys. 8th grade U.S. history is the only class in middle school where the material you're learning is on a star in high school. So like what you're learning right now is going to be on the 11th grade U.S. history star that you have to pass to graduate high school. So my own child is playing quite a bit of Minecraft as well. So I am not playing Minecraft, but people in my house are. I'm doing puzzles. I've done 3 puzzles so far. Quite bored. Reading books. Looking at flashcards. I didn't really look at the flashcards. You're eating salmon and lobster? Wow. That sounds delicious. I had noodles with sauce. That's what I ate for dinner. All right. I'm going to go ahead and log off, you guys. Again, look for another live later this week. Once I get information about exactly what next week is going to look like. If you want to keep up with this information on your own, again, Superintendent Mark Henry. He's the head of Cy-Fair ISD. You can follow him on Twitter at SUPTMARKHENRY. He's been really responsive. And then you can also follow Cy-Fair ISD at Cy-Fair ISD on Twitter. So nobody give out their address online. All right. So if you want to find out your own updates, doing that as well. Otherwise, I will see you all on Friday. Good luck and good night.